Hi, welcome to the Aerospace Maker channel. I'm Aaron Harper. This channel is all about the nuts and bolts of aerospace. This week is about link budgets in preparation for a satellite reception project. At the end of these videos, we'll have made a satellite ground station receiver and received images from space. This week, we'll cover satellite link budgets at a high level. The first thing is, what is a link budget? A link budget is a method of accounting for all the gains and losses of a communication link, from the transmitter through the medium to the receiver and decoder. In practice, it's actually similar to a general ledger or checkbook register in that it accounts for all the signal gains, similar to the accounting credits, and all the losses, which are similar to the debits. Now, like accounting, your link budget is only as accurate as the information which is taken into account. If you don't put a check in your checkbook register or enter the wrong amount, your figures will be off. Likewise, every factor needs to be accounted for in your link budget. Make sure you use the same units throughout your equations. While the differences between dB and watts is fairly easy to spot, mixing up dBW or decibels per watt and dBm, decibels per milliwatt, is really easy to do. You'll also need to be careful not to mix imperial measurement units with metric. Standardize on whatever units you want, but stay consistent. When collecting the data, verify the units and make any conversions you need before you plug in the numbers. For our purposes, we'll standardize on dBW, decibels per watt, and metric units with long distances measured in kilometers. This brings me to the hard part of the link budget, and it's not the math. You either need to know all the specifics about the satellite you're trying to make contact with, which is really not going to happen, or some assumptions will need to be made. The trick is to do your homework, and where the information is not available, use high worst-case figures on your loss estimates and use low worst-case figures on the gains. This will give you a pleasant surprise when you actually try to make the link. Just remember your assumptions, and if the link is close, try it anyway. Normally, a satellite has several links, including the uplink, the downlink, telemetry, and command and control. All of these links work in the same way for the purposes of a link budget. It's just the figures that are different in our application. We're only worried about receiving the signal. So from the weather satellite or ISS, so we only do one link budget, and that's the downlink. In the interest of keeping things on the hard side of realistic, you may either want to run the link budget numbers as multiple observation angles within the anticipated range of contact, or simply run it once at the edge of contact. We'll be using the latter method. In our scenario, we're going to receive the images of the NOAA 19 weather satellite and assume that our satellite is 60 degrees above the horizon at an altitude of 870 kilometers above the Earth. Note that of the 8 satellites launched, 5 are now decommissioned and 2 are having stability issues. NOAA 19 is the last of the series that is still mostly functional. Fortunately, there are other satellites and other things on the same frequency band, one of which being ISS, and the other being the Russian Meteor satellites. When we do a link budget, there's a ton of factors, and the process becomes pretty daunting. Vincent van Gogh is credited with saying great things are done by a series of small things brought together. And that's the key to doing a link budget. The key is to break up the link into segments and systems. The standard method is to break the link calculations into 3 segments: the transmit segment, the propagation segment, and the receive segment. The transmit segment is all the information about the satellite, right up until the signal exits the dish or the antenna. The propagation segment takes that signal and goes through the equations in order to get it all the way to the ground. This includes what they call free space propagation launch, which is a function of distance, And it also goes through atmospheric attenuation, which is the absorption of the signal by our own atmosphere. The final one, the receive segment, will go through everything from the receiving antenna to the connectors, to the amplifiers, and so on, all the way to signal reception and decoding. We're going to go through each of the segments in upcoming videos. In preparation, please have a look in the video description below and on aerospacemaker.org for a brush up on the math we'll be using and the links to background information, including satellite data. Next week, we'll go through researching satellite data as well as completing the transmit segment for NOAA 19. Let's go. If you like this video, if you like the channel, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video, and visit our site, aerospacemaker.org. As time goes on, more and more information will be presented there. To support the channel and accelerate improvements, please donate to us through the Patreon link below.